If your company is still treating AI like an experiment, you're already behind because your team is using AI every day in their personal lives, but at work, they're stuck in systems that can't keep up.
Your experience in your personal life cannot be dissonant from your experience in professional life. We are all becoming AI native in our personal lives. When you pick up the phone, you're not thinking about, why do I have facial recognition technology? You go, you scan, you're in. Buyers were not looking for just adding more and more people, and they were starting to look for impact outcomes.
That's why KK, CEO of Ascendion, walked away from a $20 billion IT giant to build an AI native company from scratch. Because he's seen what happens when this is done right.
It was a $200,000 project. It saved that company about $60 million. But more importantly, Ben, it saved the lives of 85,000 people.
In this episode, you'll learn what it actually means to become AI native and how to close the gap between how your people already work and how your company operates. We break down the mindset shift, the operating model, and the very first move every CEO should make, starting with themselves.
We don't start with fear, we start with hope.
I'm your host, Ben Fanning. It's time to lead the team. KK, CEO of Ascendion, welcome to Lead the Team, my friend.
Happy to be here, Ben.
You have spent years inside one of the largest IT services companies in the world. You saw this shift coming before most leaders did. What made you believe the entire IT services model needed to change?
Buyers were not looking at just input models anymore. They were not looking for just adding more and more people and just give me 10 more people and 20 more people. It wasn't just what they were looking for. They were starting to look for impact outcomes. They were starting to look for partners that could actually share with them in the risk of what needed to happen. And so that was sort of number one. Number two was the increased focus on talent. Talent had become an industry control point. It wasn't just about scale, it was about specialization. You needed to have good quality people. You didn't need 1,000 of them, but you needed really, really good people. So talent, high quality talent had become an industry control.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. I wouldn't necessarily say, well, today it's even more quality over quantity, but let's just start to say that the drift was significantly in that direction. And the third thing, which was very, very important, was the critical need for automation and for a new operating model to emerge that would deliver incredibly more efficiencies and outcomes to the clients, right? And for a really long time in an industry which was primarily measured by headcount, automation was a superficial conversation. And with the level at which technology was being adopted, and as you know, every day the world consumes more technology than the day before. So given that, the need for us to be able to have a model that drives significant automation, but also breaks the linearity between headcount and growth. AI native is when you don't worry about the why and the what. You got that figured out. Many companies are still trying to figure out why they need to use AI. They're also trying to figure out, what does AI do for us? Like, what is that role it plays? We are not at that stage, right? There's no question on the why anymore, because it's, we're already on that journey. There's not even a question on what, because we know exactly what we want to do with it. More importantly, what we want to do with the solutions we want to build, the platforms we've created, the people that we are bringing into the company that have very high, what we call AI quotients, which is a mindset test we do. But the focus is really on the how.
Do you have a favorite AI native story where maybe they weren't AI native and you and the Ascendion crew were able to pop in and help shift not just their systems, but also their mindset?
I will tell this story. It's an interesting one. It's, we were working with a bank, and we were trying to do modernization work for them. It was a very old piece of technology. And what had happened was the technology was so old, but it was incredibly critical for the CIO. And we were working with them on the modernization piece. We were applying our AI tools and helping them sort of get on this journey of really sort of bringing AI into their lives professionally. One of the pieces of work that we did was we had built this re-engineering capability using our AI tech, where you could actually study old code, understand what was inside it, pull out all of the business meanings, and reframe it into a new world. And so the interesting thing that happened there was sort of an aha moment that happened there was around the time that we were doing this work, remember that nobody knew what was inside that code, because really old code, the people that had developed it were 6 feet under already. And so literally, and I mean that literally.
Literally.
Literally, yeah.
It's
And,
like ghost. It's ghost code left by the previous generation to scare us. I just made that up.
But the CEO, there's a business situation that happens, and the CEO calls up the CIO and says, I need you to find the answer to this question. Why is this thing happening? Now, the CIO was in a real problem because the CEO has called him directly, and he has no freaking idea what's inside that piece of code. So we very quickly ran our re-engineering tool to uncover the business meaning, what was inside it, and we helped him answer an incredibly important question to the CEO in a matter of minutes, when it would have taken him weeks to figure out the answer and potentially his job, right? And so this was
so like you converted
this was
him
an
pretty
aha
quick.
moment. What's that?
You convert him to AI native thinking pretty quickly.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, wait a minute, I would have done this, and it could have been a career-ending moment, or I could rethink the how and ground it in an AI native approach.
Yeah.
Using the right AI tools and help them understand the problem. What do you think the hardest thing leaders have to unlearn to make that shift?
I don't think there's one thing that you have to unlearn. You just have to have the courage to unlearn. I think too many leaders are scared of unlearning because it's the inertia of change. It's what made you successful. So I don't think that's one thing, Ben. I think it's just having the courage to unlearn. And that to me is not easy, because the speed at which things change now, it is incredible. We've got people that are excited about learning something new every day, but imagine when you go through a training program and you learn, how to use a certain AI technology. You finish your learning, you're about to go for the project, and then they've already launched the next version of it. You have to go back and learn that again. So this to me is a massive cycle, which is where the model that we have created, which is, don't think about our model as AI assisted. It's autonomous engineering, where we're actually saying, listen, we're going to define the operating model in a way where you don't have to keep unlearning. There is a certain amount of work that's going to be done by the agents. Don't worry about it. What you got to do is you got to focus on these pieces. Our model creates more learning stability. And it is something that we've thought about a lot, because you've raised a very important question there, which is, honestly, the hardest thing to do is to get into the sort of this cyclical loop on learning, right? You learn something, and by the time you're about to apply it, it's gone out of fashion. It's gotten old. So you got to unlearn it. You got to learn something again. You go back up there. There are times when people have to do this in a matter of months. Like within months and weeks, you're having to do this. And this happens a lot if you do what we call AI assisted. What is AI assisted? When somebody throws a new tool to you and says, go use it. Whether it's Claude, whether it's OpenAI, whether it's Copilot, all of that, right? So that means the onus of excellence is completely on you working with the tool. And what we believe is that's the wrong way to do it. We think that the operating model of the company needs to be changed from a software perspective, so that you're actually defining a process by which there is a certain role the human plays and a certain role that's played by the agents. And so the agents will continue to evolve for you. The agents will continue to evolve. You actually have more stability around the learning part. And to me, to a large extent, that addresses this big fear that exists out there around learning.
KK, starting to wrap this up. If a CEO listening, they wants their company to truly benefit from AI, not just talk about it, what's the first move they should make?
They should build an agent for themselves, because this is one of those things that needs to be led by personal change. Your people and your culture and your clients and everybody that's looking at you wants to know that you live the change that you are preaching in the world. And so it starts from within, and then it sort of goes from there, right? Build it for yourself first before you start talking about it to the clients. But you start with yourself.
Can you walk us through that? Like, what's a way that a CEO could build an agent for themselves, and what's a problem that they should?
It could be, we've got enough problems to go after as CEOs. So, for example, I have a CEO agent that I've set up to run at 6 a.m. in the morning. So, that does 4 or 5 things for me. It does what's called inbox intelligence. So it analyzes my inbox and figures out what are the top 5 emails that I need to be thinking about. What's the essence of it? How should I respond? So it does that. Then it also summarizes for me all the key moves that my competitors made the day before, and gives me inputs on what should be done and can actually initiate it. So it's all of that, right? So it's all of that in a box. And I think you should build one yourself, build an agent for yourself, experience it, and tell that story. So that's the first thing I would do.
Talk about how you're using it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very, very important.
KK, it has been a fun one today. I want to pass the mic one more time to you. Feel free to take it anywhere you want to go. What do you want to say? What's your parting thought?
Be the change you wish to see in the world. I'm quoting somebody else when I say it, but
it might be Gandhi or somebody like that. But it's a great leader that said that. Who was a great leader? There's a reason people remember this. And I do think, like your last message, what you've talked a lot about is being that change. And I think there's a real danger and risk that someone's going to take your interview today and send it out to their team and say, you all do this, versus your message is, okay, leader, you need to be doing some of this too.
Yeah.
Maybe even more of it than you're doing today. If you want to see the change.
That is good.
Thank you, KK. It's been a fun one, sir.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Ben.